Alright, hey everybody. I wanted to do a follow-up video on my generator install for the house. I posted that about, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. I finished installing this for a backup generator system for the house. I just want to do a quick review. Basically, we just got hit with the tropical storm ISIS, or whatever it's called. Might as well be ISIS. I live in Connecticut. I don't know if I just said that, but I do. And we got hit on Tuesday, and I was at work and got the call from my wife saying we lost power around 2 p.m. And if you watch my other video, I'm not going to go over everything I have set up, but I pretty much made it idiot-proof, that even she could start the generator up from inside the house and get power back going to the whole house within 5 minutes. So, quick review. It did great. It did outstanding. She was able to get it going, no problem, just like I wanted, and I couldn't have been happier with my setup of the convenience and ease it was to do. I was out of power for over 5 days. Got power back up and running, back on the grid around Saturday, 5 p.m. So 5 days straight of running the generator, and I was a little nervous because it's a lot. It's a big test. It's not like I was out for 12 hours here a day. So I was a little nervous. I didn't know if the enclosure was going to be too hot. I didn't know if the plastic was going to start. No, I just didn't know. But I tested it every week, pretty much since I installed it. I would turn it on once a week, let it run for about 10 minutes, get fresh gas through it, and just keep it going. And I'm glad I did, because I had the solar panel previously hooked up to the battery to keep it charged, and I quickly learned that I didn't have enough sun to keep that battery charged. And one day I went to start it with a remote, and it wouldn't start. So I came out and I tested the battery with my tester, and of course my tester wasn't working. So I just took the trickle charger that I had on my trolling motor battery off my boat, and I let it charge overnight, and sure enough, the next morning I looked at the light and it was fully charged. And ever since then I kept it hooked up to the trickle charger, which I have right here. It's charging as of now because it's been unplugged, because I just did some little tweaking to it, which I'll tell you in a minute. But basically I got the trickle charge hooked up to the battery, and I ran a cord, a white extension cord out of the back with a faceplate, and I tried to hide it in my stone up underneath the siding, and right into the plug that I got on my porch. So that is a good thing I figured that out, because it's just it's the importance of testing whatever you got going on. So but overall, this thing did outstanding. I can't believe how well it did. My fuel consumption was way better than expected. I pretty much averaged, this is about a 5.5 gallon tank, and I literally found out that I could run this thing from completely full to basically bone dry in 12 hours. And that's with constantly running 3 refrigerators, 1 stand-up freezer, an attic fan I had circulating air throughout the whole house, and basically everything in between. We pretty much lived life regularly, because I wanted to see what the capabilities of this thing was, what it was capable of. So 12 hours non-stop running, from full tank to empty. I started this storm with 12 hours on this generator, 12 or 15, one or the other. I think maybe 15, but either way, couple hours difference. And I ended the storm with 97 hours on it. So, and that was, like I said, 5 days straight. And I think I gave my generator maybe 3 breaks of about 3 hours for the tops, just to let it cool down, and or if we had to leave the house. I just didn't want it to run while I wasn't home. No, not worth chancing it. This thing did phenomenal. At about 60 hours, I changed the oil because the manufacturer requires, well, it doesn't require, it requests that you change the oil if it's under constant load and heavy usage every 50 hours. So once I hit about 65 hours, I shut her down for an hour, and I swapped the oil out. It took me 15-20 minutes. That's what that pan's for. The review on changing the oil with this hose is outstanding. This hose, I think it's great. Instead of trying to get in there and undo a bolt to release the oil into a pan, it's gravity fed with that hose, and you just put little cheap Tupperware in there, catch all the oil, and 10-15 minutes you're done. This thing was outstanding. Little tweak I did since my last video, I put a thermometer reader in there, and that goes to an app right to my phone. I never broke 110 degrees, which it was, or no, I'm sorry, 120 degrees, and it was about anywhere between 80 and 90 degrees for the past 5 days. So it's gonna be a 20-degree difference. I think that's great. Fan worked nonstop. That worked great. The only thing I might try to do is an emergency heat shutoff, which I thought about doing, and also someone, brought that to my attention, my comment to my other video, which, yeah, I give you credit. That's a good idea. So I'll probably do that in the future. And the only other thing I could say is, in my other video when I did the exhaust, I said that I originally self-tapped my flange to my heat shield, and that failed miserably. I don't know if you remember, if you saw the other video, I had screws laying on the floor. Well, those are the screws holding it in, and testing it out just loosened them right up. They fell right out. So I took some bolts and I bolted it to my heat shield with some Loctite on the nuts, and that seemed to work. It worked all right. But after 5 days of constant usage and the heat and just everything, it ended up, I lost 3 out of 4 bolts. It was hanging on by a thread, and my heat shield got all banged up, cracked, and it is what it is. So I'm an iron worker by trade, union iron worker by trade, and so today yesterday I took the muffler off of off the generator, took the heat shield off of that, and I took that flange and I welded it straight to the muffler. And so I was able to weld that straight to the muffler, put the heat shield back on, and then I was able to thread that pipe right into the flange. So nothing beats a weld. Nothing beats a weld if you know how to weld. So I welded that up way better than bolts, a lot better than screws. So now that's not going anywhere. And then I just added a little pipe extension for the exhaust, a little different from my last video. I just had it laying around, so I just said might as well use it, and it worked great. So like I said, we had power. We had no power for 5 days, and we pretty much lived regularly. Besides not having central air and a dryer, we did everything else. We ran the dishwasher, we had lights, we watched TV, we had fans going in every room, ceiling fans, the attic fan constantly going. We never really, we cooked on the skillet, pancakes, we did it all, you know. So without this thing, it's Champion, and that name, it says it all. I truly believe Champion's a great name. You know, Cabela's is a great name, but you know, Champion's the ones behind this thing. And I reached out to them, and I sent them a letter on Instagram just explaining how, you know, I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, and without this thing, it would have been hell. So I trust my family with it. I trust my house with it. I'm not sponsored by them in any means. It would be great to be, but I'm not. But between Cabela's, you know, and Champion themselves, they put out a phenomenal product, and I trust everything, my whole house, you know, everything with them, and they did great. So I pretty much, that's my post-storm review of 5 days being out, and I think it's beyond exceeded what I expected. So I'm thrilled. Oh, and one more thing, I didn't know if this would be strong enough to do my central air, and I found out that if I kill all the breakers, run nothing in the house, and I turn the AC and my air handler on, this will have enough juice to power my AC. So if I really need to in the future, I didn't find that out until after I got power because I didn't want to chance it, but now in the future, if this happens again in the summer, I will definitely shut down my whole house and turn my AC on for a couple hours just to cool it off. So it's great. If you want to leave any comments, ask any questions, go ahead. But watch my first video for more of a detailed description of what I did. This is just a review. It was great. So hope everybody stays safe in the storm. And you know, hopefully nothing hits us like that again, but if it does, I feel so confident that I'm not even worried. So all right, take it easy.